Let's talk about Gemini, because people love to misunderstand this archetype. They call it two-faced, indecisive, talkative, too much, all over the place. But Gemini is much more than that. It's the archetype of the messenger, the one that plays with curiosity, plays with paradox, collects stories, connects people. It is ruled by Mercury, and it is a mutable sign, meaning that it's here to move, to adapt, to evolve through ideas, to change, to transform. It doesn't sit still, it shifts, it moves, it learns, it plays. Whether Gemini is strong in your chart, it doesn't own their tone. You have this energy within you, and we'll dive deep into this archetype, its light, its shadow, its virtues, and all the things that will help us put it into conscious practice and honor it. And today we're diving deep into its brilliance, its wittiness, its knowledge, and how to get through life without getting lost in the wind. Gemini is the third sign of the zodiac. If Aries says, I am, and Taurus says, I have, then Gemini says, I think. It's a mutable air sign. It's mentally agile, adaptable, and built for movement, especially in the realm of ideas and communication. All it has to do with the intellect and trying to figure things out of curiosity. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the planet of thinking, speaking, and interpreting. Mercury in Gemini is quick, clever, and curious. It doesn't need certainty, just possibilities, which are endless. The symbol for Gemini is the twins, representing duality, conversation, curiosity, and multiplicity. It reflects the desire to understand both sides, to experience both paths, and to think in contrast. Gemini's strength is in gathering, connecting, and expressing information. It doesn't want to sit still. It wants to explore. That might mean books, people, cities, languages, podcasts, craft stuff, anything that stimulates the mind, really. This archetype teaches to question everything, not to be contrary, but to keep growing, to keep expanding, to keep stimulating the mind. That's the spark that says, what else is out there? You'll see Gemini energy in people who love to talk, to text, write, and ask questions. They're thinkers, messengers, storytellers. Gemini shows up in the person who always has a new book or a new idea to share and is ready to share it. The friend who texts 5 people at once and somehow keeps track, always texting everyone. The social butterfly who could talk to anyone, anywhere. The curious mind who never runs out of things to say. It thrives in fast-paced environments and learns best through experience. Gemini energy is rarely linear. It follows threads, patterns, and that's okay. Learning isn't always a straight path. That's why it's so expansive. And this is also a highly expressive archetype, where it's gestures, humor, metaphors. Gemini brings language to life. It's the one that takes abstract ideas and makes them shareable. Every archetype has a shadow, and for Gemini, it usually lives in the mind. In shadow, Gemini can overthink, instead of feel. There's no space for feeling since the mind is overstimulated. Gemini can also avoid depth by staying in distraction, avoid being vulnerable by just jumping from one thing to the other. Just say what people want to hear instead of what's true. Since it's observing and analyzing, it figures out what people want to hear, even if it's not necessarily what's true. It can get stuck in talking about life instead of living it. Its curiosity can turn into restlessness. Its adaptability can become inconsistency. And its humor can cover deeper pain. Gemini wants to be seen as smart, capable, informed. But if it's always for performing or multitasking, it might lose connection to its true self and its inner truth. It's also prone to mental burnout. Too many tabs open, too much stimulation, not enough silence. The healing begins when Gemini learns that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to say it perfectly. It's okay to pause and actually just be. To live this archetype well and get the most out of Gemini energy, stay curious, but learn to focus. Set one intention at a time. Use writing or voice notes even to process your thoughts. Articulating them and letting them out truly helps to analyze those patterns within your mind. Gemini needs expression, so choose to be deep sometime. You don't have to know everything, just what matters now. Take some time for silence. Gemini's mind needs stillness as much as it needs stimulation. So create a balance. Ask better questions, not just for answers, but for connection. Gemini is a communicator, but the goal isn't all the noise. It's actually clarity. And when that clarity lands, Gemini becomes the sacred messenger, translating chaos into understanding. Gemini reminds us that communication is a two-way street. It's not just about talking, it's about listening. Not just about gathering, but about integrating. You don't have to chase every idea. You can actually slow down, get curious inwardly. Notice and acknowledge that your thoughts matter, but so do your feelings. Let me know, how does this energy and Gemini energy show up in your chart, show up in your life? Are you learning to stay curious without disconnecting from yourself? And if not, then you can start practicing it. And if you're enjoying this archetype series, just make sure to subscribe and share this library